Daughter of an actress who won a Charleston contest that served as a springboard to the movies. In case you are still wondering as to the identity of these two offspring, they are, in alphabetical order, Christian Brando and Christina Crawford. And now, here's the Lowe, who puts a high in viewing entertainment, your man of the half hour, Skip E. Lowe.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Looking at Hollywood today. We have a dynamite of a show, a real Hollywood show. I want you to sit back, relax, because I'd like you to meet one of Hollywood's great American, and I think she was an international movie star, his daughter today. She is Miss Christina Crawford, who was Joan Crawford's daughter.
Yes,
Right? How are
yes.
you, Joan Crawford's daughter?
I know.
Right. That must be hitting all the time, Joan Crawford's daughter. I mean,
When I was a little girl, it was very difficult because I never felt that I had a name.
right.
So I was like a hyphenate, and I always felt that somebody was looking around to see who the little puppy was, you know. But as I have grown up, I have gotten used to it. Not only that, but I was an adopted child. So
Yeah,
I
that's-
didn't really know my own parents. And my mother was such a superstar that
That's
there
right.
was a part of her that I didn't know either. So it
You
took
didn't
me a
know?
long time to find out who I was, you know?
You mean you really didn't know your mother? I mean,
There were
really?
parts of her that I did not know until I became an adult, because I couldn't relate to them. I couldn't relate to the problems, I couldn't relate to the pressures, I couldn't relate to the career, I couldn't relate to how she chose to raise
Did you ever go to
children.
the studio and sit on the set and
Oh,
watch it?
sure,
I
from
mean,
the time I
wait,
was,
really?
you know, tiny. Yes, I grew up on a set.
How was she on the set?
MGM Studios,
Yeah,
I grew
tell me,
up.
how was she? At Warner Brothers too? Was
Yes,
she,
Warner Brothers
She started
later
at MGM,
on.
didn't
yes,
she?
Yes, she was there for 17 years.
And she moved over
To Warner Brothers, which in those days was considered a demotion, because MGM did the big, expensive musicals.
Right.
They had the supposedly the best stars, and Warner Brothers did the dramatic pictures, the B pictures, the
Right.
you know, those kind of pictures. But there were fantastic people that were at Warner Brothers: Betty Davis, Anne Bancroft. You know, some
Yes, right.
fantastic.
Tell me about Joan Crawford at home and on the set. Was
Two
she
different people.
That's right.
Two completely
Crosby was that too.
different. That's what I understand. I've talked to Gary
Yeah,
Crosby.
I had him on my
and,
show. He said the same thing.
Yes, I was very interested because I knew about the family when I was young, but I didn't actually know the boys. They were a little older than I was. But my mother was two different people. She was the person who had been an abused child. She was? Yes. I think that she was sexually abused. I know she was physically abused. But of course, as a child, I didn't know that. But that was the part of her that came out in intimate situations. But the professional was the one that was at the studio. And she had that person very much under control, except when she was drinking.
She did drink a lot?
In the later years, yes, she did. And that's one of the reasons that I am so interested in helping people who are adults now, who were abused as children.
That's what you're doing now,
yes,
right?
well, one of the things that I'm doing.
It's
called the Survivors Network.
Yeah, tell us about that.
And it's a national network of an organization, nonprofit organization, that is referral information for any adult, anybody over 16, who was abused as a child. We have psychiatrists, self-help groups, we have drug rehabilitation programs that we can refer people to. We have facilitators in most of the states, and we have a survey now going out to learn more about what the long-term effects of child abuse are on adult life.
Yes.
And anybody can write me for that survey. And we need men. We need men.
Why men? Tell me.
Well, because I do a lot of writing for magazines, and most of the magazines that I have written for, I have an article coming out in the October Red Book, and they're primarily women's magazines, or magazines that have primarily women audiences. And I would like to reach more men to find
Where do they
out.
where do they write to?
Our address is 18653 Ventura Boulevard,
That's in the valley.
number 143, Tarzana, California,
That's-
91356.
Okay, I'll put that. I'll let
Thank
them know.
you.
I will.
Thank you.
Tell me about the book Black Widow. I gotta know about that.
You would love that.
Really?
Yes, you
What's
would
it
love
about?
that book. It's a murder mystery. It's about a family. The two main characters, which is unusual for today, are both women. A young woman of 20 and a woman in her 40s. The woman in her 40s is really the catalyst, but you don't know that until way far into the book. She's a sociopath. And I think we've all met those people, haven't we?
We have, right.
Yes. They're usually quite successful, beautiful,
Right.
dynamic, and lethal. She's all of those things. And she takes a situation that looks like an accident and turns it into total destruction and chaos for everybody around her. And she almost wins. It is almost the perfect crime. It was a wonderful book to write. I really, really got
Enjoyed it?
Yes, I
Yeah.
loved it. I loved it because in fiction, making everything up, you can really let your fantasies go, and you're not constrained by facts.
You seem to enjoy writing nowadays.
Yes, and I love life, so that's even more important.
Why do you love life so much, Christina? Tell me.
Well,
Tell me.
because it's real important. Because the alternative is unacceptable, and it takes a long time to realize that.
True.
you know?
That's going to be into a movie, I understand.
Yes.
Huh?
God willing, it's going to be into the movie. It's we
know
did
who-
it as we are doing it as an independent production, and needless to say, right now we are having the struggle of our lives, which is raising the money. It separates not only the men from the boys, but the wimps from the strong, right?
Yeah.
And so we're going to raise the money and then do it as an independent production.
Survival Network. What's
Yes.
that? What's that about?
Well, the Survival Network.
That's something else. Than,
Well, that's the organization for adults who were abused as
oh,
children.
I see.
And I spend probably all of my free time working on that. We have a program that we refer prisoners to. We have an organization that we refer people that were foster children. There are lots of problems that child abuse appears to create when people become adults. And up until very recently, we haven't understood that. There are health problems. There are problems in forming good relationships, trusting, intimate relationships. That seems to be very difficult for people that were abused as
There
children.
is a lot of abused children around.
Yes,
There really
yes.
is. They don't talk, do they?
Not usually, no, and sometimes not even as an adult. But
That
you know
makes
what's happened? The media has done a very good job, and I think we're all very grateful. Programs like Something About Amelia, programs like Adam, some of the Burning Bed, some of
Yes,
those
yes.
other programs
Yes.
have really helped people to understand the problem.
That's very nice, Christina. You're very lovely. Tell me something about your vineyards.
My vineyards.
Yes, your vineyards. Is it in Napa Valley, is it?
No,
Where is
it's
it?
in San Luis Obispo.
Ah.
And that's near Hearst Castle, for
Tell me
those
about vin-
viewers that are not in
Why
California.
would Christina Crawford get into the vineyard?
Well,
Tell
it's
me.
a romantic business. It's also a lot of hard work. When I was a
Is there
little
a big
girl,
profit? There's not a profit in it. I understand
well,
you don't make a big profit.
I'm sure that people like the Sebastianis and the Gallows make a good profit. The young wineries have a difficult time. You have to be in it for a while to see
I
a
see.
profit. But I
What's your
wanted.
label? What is your label?
It's called Creston Manor.
Creston
Manor. And the village that our post office is in is the town of Creston, and it's really a village. It has 2 saloons and the post office.
Very small town.
That's right, and a lot of cattle.
Howard Johnson's carry one flavor.
Nothing like that.
Why so many
believe me.
stars have vineyards? Tell me. Why
Well,
do that?
I met Pat Paulson recently on a distributors convention, and he's a wonderful man. He started out planting vineyards, and only then got into the wine business. I think it is such a contrast to show business.
Yeah.
Show business is high-paced, urban,
Yes.
youth-oriented, and very much what was your last job?
Yes.
What was your last success?
Yes.
Whereas the wine business is exactly the opposite. Longevity and patience are revered.
I see.
And I think that's what may make it very appealing.
I'm going to ask you this question. What was
What?
your mother really like? I mean, really
She was
like
many
children.
different people, quite
Like
honestly.
you're saying before, she wasn't?
One of the things that I remember most about my mother was that she was a very sad person. Many times when I was a child going to bed at night, I would wake up in the middle of the night. My mother's living room area was right next to my bedroom, and she would leave the doors open. So I could hear her talking into the dictaphone, dictating letters. And later on in the evening, I would hear her crying. And probably it was 12, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. And my heart broke for her. But because I was a little girl, I did not have the courage to go into her room and try to comfort her. And if I regret anything, it is not being able to do that.
But you know something? Great people are always lonely. Simpatico. It's something about...
It's
like,
unfortunate.
It is. They're great. They're always great. There's some... But tell me something. The book, Mommy Dearest.
Yes.
Was it exactly... The movie, was it exactly like your book?
No, nothing like it.
Wasn't?
Nothing like it.
Tell me what.
I don't know why. I tried very hard to convince them that they were making a mistake.
Didn't you have anything to say?
I wrote 2 scripts. 2 scripts. And after they received the second one, they then spent another 1.5 to 2 years, went through 5 writers and hundreds of thousands of dollars to get a script that ended up being the quote-unquote by committee script.
Right.
Historically, it wasn't accurate.
It wasn't.
No. And that's where the problem began. They tried, I think, to show a direct cause and effect. In other words, an event in real life that was followed by some behavior on my mother's part that was very bizarre.
Yes.
Like they put together her being fired by Warner Brothers with the cutting down of the rose
tree.
garden.
I didn't like that.
Well, it didn't happen that way.
Of course, I believe
That's too
that.
simplistic.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
too simplistic.
That's the one I didn't like.
Well, it didn't
Isn't that
happen
funny?
that way.
The tree.
It did
her
not-
going out cutting that tree. That wasn't Joan Crawford.
No, she did do that once. She cut down an orange tree, but I think it
not
was
in that
after
manner.
a lover's quarrel, to tell you the absolute truth.
Okay.
I was very young and I didn't know too much about those kind of things, but that's what I
She
think.
did have a lot of lovers,
I think
didn't
she did, yes.
You know what I'd like you to meet right now?
What?
I would like you to meet another great American son who is Marlon Brando's son. He's great.
Yes,
Marlon Brando,
he's
isn't he a
wonderful.
great actor? I'd like to
And
meet his son.
And his son is
Christian
adorable.
Brando, yes, isn't he?
And
Yeah.
it's his first
First
show.
Yes, Christian, how are you?
Yes.
How are you, Christian?
Congratulations.
Christina.
Welcome.
Welcome. Christian,
How you doing,
Brando. Christian just got back from Tahiti. Tell us about it.
Yes. Well,
What was Tahiti like, really? Where were you in Tahiti? At the
down in the South Pacific. It's an atoll about 30 miles northeast of Tahiti itself. And me and my friend Bill Cable were down there, and we were.
Your dad sent you down there to cut some trees.
Yeah,
I
we
understand.
were running a logging operation because.
You're a tree surgeon. Did you know
Tree
that?
surgeon,
That's what
yeah.
he does. He cuts
That's-
trees.
Yeah, we run a tree service right here in Hollywood
Right.
and out in the valley. And a hurricane had came in and wiped out my dad's hotel, and he needed some help. So, we started up a sawmill, and we had a real big logging operation, and we had tractors and chainsaws and all kinds of people going on.
So you had a good time down there, didn't you?
Well, it was grueling because it's jungle, it's a lot of mosquitoes, shark-infested waters, and
Not at all like the paradise that you think of.
Oh,
right?
no.
Your dad's renting the hotel out now, I understand.
Oh,
He's doing
yeah, the
very,
business
very
is open
well.
right now, and
It's-
all the lumber that we milled had rebuilt the hotel.
How many cabins does he have?
I'm not really sure. I think maybe about 31.
31 cabins. They're all
31.
Phil, I understand.
Oh, yeah.
You're doing
The
very
blo-
well.
I mean, it's just booming.
Tell me about your mother, Anna Kashfi. I think
She's pretty good. She's doing all right.
Is she? Where is she living now?
She's living in San Diego in Alpine, and she's remarried,
Yes,
has
too.
a husband.
She is
and-
remarried.
Yeah.
Do you still see her?
Yeah. Well, I've talked to her on the phone.
How many kids does Brando have? How many?
Well, I've got my brother Miko, and I've got my brother Tehotu, and my little sister Cheyenne.
Miko works for Michael Jackson.
That's
Is
right.
that correct?
Yes, sir.
He's a bodyguard for Michael Jackson. Tell me about
Yeah.
that. How did he get that job? Why would he do that, Miko?
Well,
Does he like
he
it?
likes that, the industry. He's a real good kid. He's very talented.
Not in the business. None of the kids are in the business at all. In show
no,
business.
no.
But tell me, Kristen,
What?
would you really like to get into the film?
No, I've started breaking the modeling business, and I've done some stuff, and but I mean, I'm slowly breaking into it, you know, big time.
Today is
Today is the day, right? Tell me about your father. Why does he like Oriental women? I gotta ask you that question.
I don't know.
Men do usually like
Well,
Oriental. But
everybody
why
has
does
their attraction for somebody, you know. I mean,
Good answer.
Marlon Brando went to Tahiti. He just got back from Tahiti, I understand.
yeah, and he was taking care of he's been taking care of business down there, and he's just trying to reconstruct what Mother Nature had destroyed.
How's his health today, Kristen?
He's looking really good.
He is. He's lost weight, I understand.
Oh, yes, he's
how
lost
many,
a lot
How many
of weight.
pounds did he lose, Kristen?
I couldn't tell you, but I mean, it's guys and dolls all over again.
I understand he lost 80 pounds. Now,
Oh, my.
Kristen, that's what I was told.
I'm not going to be
You're not
facetious. Well, you know.
How did he lose these pounds? Tell me. What does he do? What's his diet?
Just diet.
Like what? What does he,
No.
what does he eat? What does
I have, well, it depends. You know, I mean.
like does he exercise around the house or?
Yeah, he works out
What's
and
his
he does
day like?
things. He writes and he builds furniture and he does a lot of things. I mean, you know, he likes working with his hands.
Hands.
Yeah, he's a
like
craftsman.
you. That's
yeah.
where you got that from, huh?
Oh yeah, and I guess I don't know. It runs in the family or whatnot.
I see. Are you married, Kristen?
Huh?
Are you married?
I used to be married.
Uh-huh.
That's a joke.
It's a joke. It's a joke. Okay. Well,
It's,
you know, I like right
He's
now.
gonna have his own show after.
He certainly is. You
Yeah.
know, Kristen, I like Christina to meet your friend. He just got back from Tahiti with
yeah,
you.
well, he was down there,
Yeah,
and
and
we
you know,
were.
Bill
we were-
Cable has done a lot of films. He has
Yeah.
he's a matter of fact, a new Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure right
That's
now.
right.
And he was Cassandra Peterson's ex-boyfriend for many years, who is Elvira. Remember Elvira? He went, and he's done a lot of films, and he's writing. I understand he's writing, right? Well, let's get him on. Bill Cable, how are you? Look at him, Bill. How are you, Bill?
Hello.
Hi, Bill. This is Christina Crawford.
Yes.
Hi.
Cable.
Brandoline.
Tell us, you saved this young man's life in Tahiti. What happened that day? What do you mean?
Yeah,
How did you?
anyway, I was
Oh, he had a
taking the
broken
day off. My
foot.
girlfriend just came for the day, so I was taking the day off.
Your girlfriend came to Tahiti?
Yeah, for 10 days.
Uh-huh.
We're now married.
I see. Go ahead.
So I said to her, you know, I haven't seen Christian around for a while. I said, I'm a little worried. He's okay, you know.
Uh-huh.
So I started looking out, and I saw a little dot way out on the reef. And I kept watching the dot, and finally it moved, and we went back to the cabin for a little while. You know? And when I came out, the dot was gone. I said, you know, something's wrong. I said, I think Christian's in trouble. She said, well, yeah, okay. So I took a little boat, started it up, went out there and started looking, right? Got out there a few miles, and there was my little brother Brandoline out in the water, you know. Bill, hey! Okay, I'm coming, you know. Speeded up the engine. Got him on board, and there were a few sharks.
They have sharks out there?
Sharks.
Lots of sharks. Huh?
Yeah, there's about
my
Really?
Lord.
My God.
there's
Shark
about
isn't a word. This
There's as
thing was
many
a
sharks
monster.
out there as there are Chinamen in China.
No. No, this is good.
Anyway.
This is good. You know, I mean, 9.
Were you just
10
swimming?
foot-
Were you just
I
swimming?
was no. What happened was we had a huge barge, and we had I'd say at least 15 tons of timber on it.
Yeah, quite a bit of wood,
These
yeah.
giant tow trees, maybe almost 2 of them you could only fit in the studio, right?
Did you have help out there, or did you just do two of you?
Oh no, we had a Cat 950.
I see.
But
Tractor.
basically, it was just
Yeah. So
manpower.
what happened is we overloaded the
The boat.
our barge, right?
Yes.
And we were taking in water really fast.
I
And
see.
that was it.
it tipped over.
And
that
it
was-
didn't actually tip over, kind of capsized, and we had
Sank.
Well,
Hey, Pop, I sunk a boat.
What do you think you're doing sinking all these boats over there?
Good impression
on
of
a high
Brando.
tide.
Did
So
you-
anyways, I left the tractor
hear that
driver
impression?
out there, and I said, here, you stay with the motor and everything and make sure, I mean, this tow wood that we were trying to save, these trees are like 600 years old.
I see.
And they're ancient. And they've been there on this atoll for, oh God, I'd say maybe almost 900 years.
Is the island really heaven? I hear it's heaven out there.
If
Is
you
it-
can withstand the mosquitoes. And
Mosquitoes?
there's a
That's
heavy
the only hell
mosquito
that there is to the
repro-
mosquitoes.
I understand you Nothing. Bare nothing.
No
Just
clothes
your birthday
at
suit.
all. Yeah, just
Bare suit,
there were
you
only
guys-
9 people there. I got to tell you this.
9?
The hotel wasn't open, so I didn't go around naked all the time. But
But you did most
there
of
were
it.
only 9 people there, so I'd get around the other side of the island and take off my pedeo and go spearfishing nude, you know. Planes would fly by. Hey!
The tourists are looking
Right.
at you down in the island.
But now the hotel's open. I'm sure it's a different story.
Bill Cable. How long you two guys been knowing each other? A long time?
Going on 4 years.
4 years?
Yeah.
I see. So tell me about your career. Pee-wee News Big Adventure.
Well,
How's that movie
I had a
going?
part in Pee Wee's movie playing a cop. I was in Falcon and the Snowman, had a great part in that as a cocaine dealer. Got cut out of the film because Dalton Lee, who's in prison, thought that the scene depicted him as a stool pigeon and he thought he'd be killed in the joint.
I see.
So they had to cut out the whole thing and I was very upset about it.
And you're writing, I understand you are writing, Bill is a writer, Christina. I understand.
Still aspiring, budding.
But you are writing right now about your experiences?
About our exploits in Tahiti, right. We had a lot of adventures over there that...
No, if he had come along in the boat, I mean, this thing was going to eat me alive.
Yeah,
I mean,
he
it
was going to get killed. He was going to be shark food
So
real
Bill
quick.
Cable really saved your
No,
life.
oh, listen, this thing was swinging around, and I was bobbing up and down in the water, and I'm coming up for air, and I turn around, and I glance out of the back of my eye, and I see this fin coming through the water. And I thought it was a little, there's a little, black-tip shark swimming around. Like, but, I mean, this dead was big. I mean, this was no joking around. And I didn't have no place to go, and he kept circling around me, and thank God Bill got there, and he pulled me out of the water, and, I mean, he was hungry. And so
Not me.
if it was no, I'm talking about
I had a
this.
six-pack of beer.
I know, he had a
No,
six-pack of
no,
beer. I
save
don't worry
the
about
kid.
beer, man. So anyways, he pulled me out of the drink, and it was a really close call. I mean, the man saved my life. If he hadn't been watching, and also plus the fact that we were out there, we were logging, and Bill had, broken his foot. I mean, we're taking coconut trees down 70, 80 feet tall, and when they hit the ground, they make a thump. I mean,
Where were you born, Christian?
I was born right here in West Hollywood.
But you spent a lot of West Hollywood.
All my life, I've
Bill
been living
Cable
here.
was born in Hollywood.
27 years
Yeah,
I've been living
And
here.
Christina?
I was born at Hollywood Presbyterian
Isn't that
Hospital.
funny? I have 3
Where'd you go to high
Hollywood
school?
people.
Oh, I went to private high school.
I went to North
Chadwick.
Oh, private
North
high
Hollywood,
school.
private.
Chadwick.
And where did you
Chadwick.
go? Where did you go?
Chadwick.
Yeah.
Military school.
Where did
Which
you go?
military school? My
No,
brother
not
went
me.
to
He
all
did.
of them.
I went to
I went to
Hollywood
military. I went
High.
to Brentwood Academy for 6 years.
6 years
Yeah,
at
I was in
Brentwood.
an Air Force Academy. And always in trouble, on detention. They had me...
You're always in trouble?
Oh, yeah, I was
love
always
it.
on
Not
detention.
now.
No, that's-
No, I mean, this is years ago,
Yeah,
when I was a little kid, and they had me walking around the football field with an M1 Gerard, 30-06, going around, holding stacks of Bibles up my arm. I was always a rebel going through
Always a
school.
rebel.
Oh, yeah, I got kicked out of high schools and all kinds of stuff, I was a real troublemaker
Tell
back
me
then.
something about your father. Did you ever used to go on the set with your dad? And watch
No, I know. I've never been associated with the industry or the business. And,
Never?
Never.
Why is that, Christian?
I've just been doing other things, my own projects, and my tree work and stuff like that.
You
and-
enjoy doing your tree work.
Oh yeah,
And you're
I
also
do it.
a welder.
I was teaching school for a while. I worked at Pacifico Tech. It's an adult vocational college, and I was teaching structural steel, high pressure pipe welding, Healy arc welding, and stuff like that.
Isn't that great, Christina?
It
And,
is.
I think it's wonderful.
He's a good,
Yes,
honest, hard worker.
Yes, he is a good, honest,
and
hard worker. He
I've been a
goes out there.
mechanic for a couple of years down at Lynch Mercury Ford down in Santa Monica. Hi Johnny. You
It
probably
really
know
is
me.
wonderful because, a lot of people that I grew up with in this kind of situation are not here now. I mean, they have
Yeah.
killed themselves, they have OD'd, they,
Yes,
a lot
yes,
of
yes.
terrible things happen to people there in mental institutions. So I think that it's hard to grow up under the spotlight of enormous success
yes.
and
Yes.
attraction and the fans, and I
Yes,
think that's
yes.
real difficult.
Yeah.
You know.
Christian, tell me something about your father. When you were a child, what do you remember mostly of Marlon Brando? I mean, anything that, like did he,
What are you talking about?
well, something that when you were a kid, and did he ever do anything,
Like a father's
abuse,
son
a father's son? I know
relation?
you're
Sure,
very
parents-
close to your dad. Huh?
Parents get in fights, with their children and stuff like that. I mean, it's...
Is he very strict with you?
Oh, well, I mean, he gets, used to get on my case and stuff like that.
Like what, Christian?
Oh, just, you mess up, or you get in a little car accident or something, it's a normal run-of-the-mill.
I see.
And usually, when we're growing up, we're, either building things. He's very tool-oriented.
He is.
And he likes working with his hands, and he's a talented man.
You live near Jack Nicholson, don't you, up in the
Yeah,
mountain?
oh yeah. I
Jack
know.
is a very good friend.
Yeah,
so.
I know Jack. Jack's a real good guy.
Is
I
he?
do his trees for him just about every year.
You cut trees for all the stars. Who else do you cut trees for?
Huh?
You cut
Well,
trees
I've
for a lot
done,
of
who else have I done?
After
Paul
today,
Zendel. I did
Maybe
his
Christina
house.
needs some work, huh?
You need some work? You
I
need some
just,
feedback?
I just had some
She
done.
just had some done,
That's
see?
that right now.
Well, we're going to contact
Next time.
Kristen, where can they contact you? You're two together working on your tree search.
Oh, yeah. The telephone number is area code 213-851-6908.
Uh-huh. And that's where they contact you on your
That's
tree
right.
searching. Okay, fine. And what's the name of the company?
CB's Tree Service. It's my own company.
Okay, good. Kristen, and tell me
Well,
more.
actually, that's Cable at Brando's tree service.
See, okay.
What do you mean,
Well, he got
Brando?
top billing, but,
Bill Cable just did an impression of, just a few moments ago, of
Here we
Brando.
go.
I'd like to see who does the best impression.
Got to have an
Right?
audience participation
Yes, let's do
here.
it. Now, let's see who does the best.
Okay, ready?
Go ahead. Kristen,
first.
go ahead, Kristen.
no, I'm not.
Go ahead,
I'll go
Bill.
first.
Go ahead, Bill.
Got to get.
I want to tell you something here, Christian. I'm not really that happy about looking forward to sending you back to Tahiti with Bill. I mean, you guys did okay there, but you drank about 200 cases of beer. I'm still
Good. Great. And now, go ahead, Christian. Go ahead. Go ahead,
You're on, kid.
Come on, Christian.
Listen, Cable, there ain't no way that you're going back on my atoll and chopping any more trees. I told you to cut the tall trees, but evidently you were too busy drinking all my beer up, so forget it. But I thank you for saving my son's life from the great white shark, and that was coming
I
after
don't
my
think
kid.
nothing of it, kid.
Don't
Anytime
worry
you need me
about
to
it,
take
brother.
care of you, just call
Isn't
me.
that wonderful? Aren't they
And we'll
great?
do it for you. This is how we entertained ourselves on Tahiti for 3 months.
know,
Without going totally crazy.
Tell me, so how do you really entertain yourselves in Tahiti after it gets dark?
After it gets dark, we
Well,
go.
I'll tell you after we're off the air, Skippy.
No, go on, tell us now.
Okay.
No,
all right,
don't get
okay,
carried
all
away
right,
now.
Okay. We did a lot of spear fishing. We went.
Show all of a sudden.
Yeah.
We went trolling.
We caught big fish.
Trolling?
Christian taught me how to
Oh,
go
boy,
trolling.
we caught
Oh,
some
that's
big
another thing.
fish.
Tahitian style. When you go out and you go for like giant barracuda, which we caught, and big
Biggest bill.
tunas, you throw your line out there, you got nothing but gloves on. And I'll tell you, there's nothing like it. You got a couple of six-packs, you're sitting out there. All of a sudden, you get a hit. Pulling around, but Christian helped me pull in the biggest barracuda over there.
Did he really?
It was about as big as us.
The biggest one that was,
And
that all the natives.
all the
couldn't believe.
Tahitian guys, hey,
They
my
could-
guy, they all wanted our barracuda. The Americans
We wouldn't
have
give it up.
arrived. We caught the biggest fish.
I know. The Marines have
Yeah.
landed.
Right, the Marines have
Going
landed.
over the reef in that boat, and we came back with this fish, and it was quite scary because I wasn't doing anything, and all of a sudden we're sitting there going blah blah,
Yeah.
and Bill got hooked up,
Yeah.
and
Pulls
next
the
thing you
boat
know,
around.
okay, let's go, it's all yours. And I left it to Bill, and he kept pulling it in and pulling it in, and all of a sudden, and the nylon, we were using 250-pound test. And that is really thick, heavy-duty nylon.
tough
We're
stuff.
not using any fancy Penn State reeling rod, nothing. No, this is
hand,
you.
Tahitian
This is
style.
you
Good.
against the fish, like
Christina,
Yes.
this. I
we're
didn't
going
finish.
to sign. We're going to
I
sign.
don't know what I can
Oh,
add to this
Christina,
particular
I know.
conversation.
It's a
I'm
big
trolling.
Christina, we're going to sign off. Time's gone. Tell us
Oh,
about
yes.
It is?
the last survivor.
Oh, yes,
Another
yes,
half
yes,
hour.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
If
I didn't
any,
think-
Go ahead.
excuse me, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
If any of your viewers
Yes.
were abused as children,
Yes.
please write for the questionnaire. We need to know more information
They can
about
write me here at
what,
Communicon, and
yes,
that'll be fine.
what your life is like today.
Okay, fine. Good. Thank you, Christina.
Thank you.
You're very kind. And Kristen, thank you.
Thank you very much, Skip.
I'll make you finish it next time.
Well, we just takes us a while to get warmed up, but you can't
Thank
shut
you,
us
Bill.
off.
Oh, really? God, we could go ramble on for hours.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have really been looking at Hollywood today. I want to thank my
All right.
guests. See you later. Okay, we're rolling now. Just relax.
But anyway, he didn't get...